All right. Welcome back, Nico. Thank you for coming on over.
Oh man, it's good to be back.
Oh man. So this
Yeah.
week, big week in America, dude. I don't really
Mm.
know what's going on in the rest of the world, but we got Thanksgiving coming.
I mean, you don't really even care, do you?
Um,
Yeah.
it's tradition.
Thanksgiving's
It's tradition. We
Thanksgiving.
don't give a fuck.
I'm just playing with y'all, but not really. Okay, yeah, Thanksgiving. Oh man, you know what? We briefly talked about like when we were chatting and all that about Thanksgiving and how like
Yeah.
I haven't celebrated Thanksgiving in like more than a decade, probably.
Oh, how's that make you feel?
I mean, I'm used to it.
Yeah.
But at first, like, so I came to Spain. I think it was end of June 2011. Um, and I briefly talked about this when we did our Halloween episode, where like once summer was over and all that, and October came by, I was like, all right, you know, I'm ready for Halloween, and nothing really happened because they don't really celebrate it here. Then I was like, all right, well, Thanksgiving, but like I already knew ahead that like they didn't celebrate Thanksgiving here because it's mostly well, not mostly, it's just a American thing and Canadian thing because Canada also has their own Thanksgiving.
I
But
did not know that.
yeah,
Huh.
um, but obviously they don't celebrate it here, so I was kind of bummed out, to be honest, that they didn't, that we didn't have that because, man, and we could talk about this. Like, some of my best, like, memories from childhood and all that is, like, during Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I think it's like the one true holiday that really, I mean, I guess in a way it's like lost its meaning.
Mm,
Um,
hmm,
but also it's it's gotten to be like a better meaning, maybe. I don't know. Because I feel like back in the day when Thanksgiving was founded, I know it was a time to kind of like get together, but I feel
mhm.
like now it's family oriented. It gets families together and all that stuff. I don't know. Um, it's
Yeah.
like the one true holiday that's left, right? Like Easter turned into, you know, baskets and hidden eggs and grass, right?
Okay.
Christmas turned into a capitalist dream where we all just want to spend as much money as possible, and it's not really about the family aspect. It's more about gifts,
Mm,
right? But
yeah.
Thanksgiving is the one thing that I think has just kind of stayed true to its meaning, and it's just gotten better over time.
And do you think
Um,
that's just due to the fact that there's no like exchange of like presents and all that stuff? Is
yeah,
that what's
it.
kept it, from corrupting into,
I
a
think so. I mean,
emotion?
I've been given gifts on Thanksgiving where people will bring, um, like a really nice bottle of whiskey,
Okay, but
and
that's
but it's
yeah,
different.
it's
There,
different.
it,
Yeah.
it's the true thing of like, dude, you really didn't have to do this,
Mhm.
and it's about sharing and cooking. Like, I love cooking,
Mhm.
and I am really, kind of what I wanted to get into today is just kind of how the traditions have changed.
Yeah, I'd love to
Um,
hear how that's changed in the past decade or
yeah.
so.
So in the past decade, really, I mean, my traditions have only changed over the past couple of years. As I'm building my own family and we're doing different things.
Right.
Um, but you can attest that 10 years ago, a typical table at Thanksgiving always had turkey, ham, stuffing,
Mm.
and just various amounts of sides like mashed potatoes and stuff. Whereas this year, or yeah, this year in my family, we're actually doing no turkey.
Okay.
Um, we're going with just a different cut of
Staying off
beef.
that
Like,
poultry. Okay.
yeah, not because I want to, but just because it's like different.
Mhm.
Like it doesn't have, because basically what happens here is you have to get in fist fights over turkeys as you get closer to the holiday, right? Things
Yeah.
go missing. Things you can't find the right dishes because companies aren't getting those things in as much as they used to. And like since the supply, I guess, is like limited,
Mm-hmm.
Once it's gone, it's gone. So like I don't know if Walmart is completely out of turkey. We were just there yesterday. I saw some turkeys in there, so it's not terrible, but it was just one of those things where it's like I don't want to settle for like what's left because I'm buying my stuff a week prior to the holiday, right?
Right.
So we're gonna go beef this year, and I'm doing a different cut. It's tri-tip, um, and we're gonna roast that, and it's gonna be like a poor man's prime rib, basically, because I was gonna do a prime rib, but that shit is $300, and I can't
What
swing that. Yeah, dude, it's wild.
the fuck?
Um, so we're at like our table this year. It's going to be a couple of tri-tips.
Mm.
How we're going to prepare those. One is going to be smoked. One is going to be baked, and then the other one, um, probably going to be like I don't know, like cut into strips and fried on a pan and some stuff. And then
Okay.
we're gonna do some mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, and get some vegetables on the plate. So
See,
it's
yeah,
completely
I
different.
love how the like this is one thing I do miss around this time is like how the whole menu is like a whole like prepping the menu, getting that menu ready is a whole event, right? When
Yeah, dude.
families get together, like, all right, what are we doing this year, you know?
Yep.
And I think what you were talking about, how like people are not steering away from turkey, but maybe coming up with different, like you're doing,
Yeah.
you know, like coming up with different ideas or different things. That's kind of cool because then it opens up a whole like uh I guess the creativity of like, you know, because like you said, it's a holiday that it's mainly focused on family and bringing the family together. So I mean, you could be having like Kentucky Fried Chicken,
Yeah.
and that's Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, you know, and I'm sure some people do have KFC for Thanksgiving. Uh, so
But that's
yeah,
okay, because it's like, dude, you don't need this extravagant meal to sit down across like your family, your brothers, your
mhm.
cousins, your friends, whoever.
Right.
You don't need this extravagant meal. You guys just need to get together. You could drink a little bit or not. You could eat a whole bunch of food or not, just as long as you're together,
Hmm.
And I think it really is the last true holiday that we have, that has kept its meaning to the core.
Yeah.
Um, and I love like the surprise on people's face, like when you tell them, it's like, oh yeah, I'm not even doing turkey this year. It's almost kind of like an insult sometimes because they're like,
Yeah.
what the
I
hell
can
do you
imagine.
mean?
Hmm.
Like, how are you gonna have a 5-year-old little girl and raise her with Thanksgiving without turkey? It's like, well, you know,
I mean, things
in my,
change.
yeah, it's like things change. Tri-tip, it's just a, I don't want to call it like a random cut. It's a cut of beef. It's nice. It's not exactly a ribeye. It's a fairly lean piece of meat after you do all the trimming, so it might be a little bit healthier of a cut.
Hmm.
Um, but the thing is like I have way more creativity with a tri-tip than I do a turkey. You're either baking or frying a turkey, and I don't want to do either of those things this year. I just want to try something different, and save the turkeys, bro. Like we don't need to be killing them. That's crazy.
No, man. I mean, like I said, when I mean, we were, I briefly mentioned this. We like some of my best memories are celebrating Thanksgiving. And to be honest, if I recall correctly, we might have just had turkey like twice in, or maybe three times in the years I was in the US. So, because
Yeah.
we always, I mean, we obviously we're not, I mean, as the audience might know, I'm Uruguayan, but like we kind of adapted to some of the traditions that you guys celebrate over in the states, obviously, because you know it's another. We're all, Uruguayans are known to be very familiar, like familial. Is it
Hmm.
familial? I guess with an L.
I think so.
So
I don't,
family
family
oriented.
oriented. Yeah.
Okay. So you know, another excuse to get together
Yeah.
uh, was just perfect.
So
So
what would y'all eat? What would y'all eat?
well, we did turkey a few, like I said, a couple times maybe, but mostly we had. Well, my dad did this chicken thing where like he would. It's kind of like I want to say like stuffed, but like rolled chicken.
Hmm.
I don't know if there's a name for that.
I think there is. I just can't think of it.
but you know what I'm saying? Like you basically
Yeah,
you debone it, you flatten it out, and then you put like I think he did like
like
ham,
spinach.
cheese,
Oh,
and olives and peppers and all that stuff, and then just rolled it up
yeah,
into like a big long like log of chicken, and
yeah,
then you would put that in the oven and then cut it into like little slices. That was always delicious. So I mean, it's another bird, but it wasn't like turkey, and you had that whole like it wasn't like stuffed. It was like like I said, rolled and all that. So we did that a
yeah.
few times. Us being Uruguayans, we had beef quite a few
Oh
times
yeah,
as well. And then all the other side dishes, I mean, potato salad for sure, which is not as traditional, but we like potato salads.
hey,
Um, maybe mashed potatoes as well, for sure.
yeah,
But I always enjoyed just the whole being with the family and all that. That was just my favorite part. I mean, obviously the food was great, but I didn't
yeah,
really care if we had turkey. And honestly, like if you know obviously when you see like on TV or whatever, turkey's like when you think of turkey or when you think of Thanksgiving, you think of turkey, and maybe and vice versa. Um, but I didn't really mind having other stuff that wasn't
yeah,
turkey. So what you're saying, what you got planned for Thanksgiving this year, that sounds just delicious.
yeah. It's a lighter take on the meal
Mhm,
because last year,
for
man, we
sure.
did it really big. Last year we had turkey, ham, green bean casserole, baked
Mm,
sweet potatoes, corn, you name it, whatever stereotypical Thanksgiving meal, we did it last year. Brother, I have a three-person family. We had Thanksgiving in our fridge for weeks. And
that's the thing too, man. Like,
yeah, and I like the leftovers,
mhm,
but the thing is it's just too much.
yeah.
And now that I'm, raising my daughter, I don't want to. I want to raise her a certain way where like it's okay to have some sort of excess because at the end of the day we're American and we're all about like living in excess. I think everybody knows that, and I just want to raise her to the point where it's like it's okay to have a little bit more, or in this case, a little bit nicer of a cut of meat
Mhm.
than to just go balls to the wall with all this food for three people
Yeah.
you
That
know and
I hadn't realized you were only like I thought maybe you would get together with like, your mom or your sister or something. I didn't
and
realize you were
and
just talking about like
no
just
and well
y'all
the
three.
well the thing is like we used to, but one thing um that I'm just surprised hasn't come up yet
Mhm.
is how COVID really affected all
Oh.
the holidays and people getting together. Here there was like a hysteria around it. There, like even today, there are people who are like, "Nah, get the hell away from me. I'm still gonna wear gloves and a mask," and
Oh, for real?
that's just like their part of life now, and that's cool. Um, but like right now, during this time of year, we're like my whole house, we're just sick. My daughter's going to school. She's bringing home weird ass diseases, getting me sick.
Which has
Um,
always happened. Like
yeah,
it's not a new thing.
right. But we're sitting here like my parents, they're used to staying home.
Mhm.
So they just, they want to stay home. My wife's family, they're doing their own thing at their place. And it actually turned into one of those things where it's like, okay, we can do our dinner here and then just go hang out with your family over there. You know what I mean?
So
But
how does that work? You mean like after lunch or sorry, before dinner or what?
well, it's like think Christmas, like
Mhm.
you open your presents in the morning and then you go to your grandma's house
Yeah.
to open up presents over there.
Mhm.
It's kind of the same thing. Like we'll do Thanksgiving dinner at our place, but we'll go do Thanksgiving breakfast at Sam's parents' place.
Got it.
Um, because I don't and see and it's crazy because I don't want to blame COVID. I think it's a pure excuse, but people just don't want to leave their homes anymore. Like COVID was the biggest excuse for people to be like, no, I'm going to stay inside. And then
Mm.
now that's just the way of life. Like a lot of people just want to stay inside.
Yeah, and you're right. It's funny we haven't even mentioned COVID.
Yeah.
We probably need a whole episode on just comparing how COVID, like reaction to COVID, in the U.S. versus Spain or Europe in general.
Yeah.
That would be a good one to get into. But yeah, I hadn't thought about like how that really affected. So basically, now you're saying that a lot of people like uh, just the one family unit is just doing their own thing, and if they got like grandparents, parents, all that stuff, and they're all doing their own thing as well. Is that what you're
Yeah.
like mostly from what
Yeah. I
you?
mean, I would say mostly they're like, the thing is like, I still live in the South where a
Yeah.
lot of us down here are kind of like, fuck COVID. It doesn't exist. Even though like you
Hmm.
can test positive for COVID tomorrow and still be like, nah, it's fine. It's cold.
Hmm.
Um, there are still people that are like, no, I'm getting together with my family. They'll hold that tradition. But for me, it's not really like that. Like for me, I want to hang out with my kid. I want to hang out with my wife. We're gonna eat some food, and then we can go out. Go see what her family's doing. Go see what my
Okay.
family's doing, and then just in the night somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, because I think like
Excuse
a
me.
lot of from what I remember as well, or just as you grow older or whatever, you hear like Thanksgiving was that moment where you would have not only just a family unit, but like the extended family as well.
Yes.
And so there were people like dreading that because then like, oh man, I gotta see Aunt Shelly,
Yep.
uh, and Uncle Kevin, who might have or not touched me when I was little, like that kind of stuff, like
Or that one family member that's always like, "Damn, bro, you got fat," and I'm like, "Damn," I'm like, I
yeah.
fucking hate this. It drives me nuts, dude. Like I
So
used to
yeah,
have.
that's another I think like I want to say like
Yeah.
stereotypical
Yep.
image of like Thanksgiving is having the family part, but to like in a negative aspect, that family part sometimes involves people from the family that you don't really care about or want to see or whatever.
Yeah.
And all the drama that can be, during dinner, that could just be, like, oh, you like, especially between like aunts and uncles and all that shit,
Yeah.
with like,
Because you're dealing with people that are blood
mhm,
that can say whatever they want.
right.
I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of fights that happen on Thanksgiving, but
Mm,
it's one of those situations where it's like, oh, we're blood. I can say this, and it's like, dude, like I haven't seen you in how many years, and
yeah.
then you're gonna, yeah, just crazy stuff, man. But it almost, that is almost a Thanksgiving tradition,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
That's
know?
right. Because in my case, see, I don't know if this might be also a cultural thing, but um, growing up in America, being Uruguayan, we still had like get together, like family get-togethers, like extended family get-togethers all the time.
Yeah.
'Cause I grew up there with well, like aunts and cousins and all that stuff. So I mean, it was almost every damn weekend we would get together and do something.
I feel like
Um,
I remember that so
yeah, and
vividly.
and you've tagged along to a few of those get-togethers for
Yeah.
sure. Especially when you were living at those apartments and my
Yeah.
cousins lived right next to you, and then they moved to the ones in front.
Yeah.
Um,
And it
but
was the best, man. But
yeah,
like, with you and your family, kind of how you grew up. I grew up with my mom, my stepdad, and my sister.
hmm,
The rest of our family was down in Florida. But
yeah,
anyway, suffice all that is to say, I grew up wanting to get away from my family,
mm,
and and with that experience, and it's not because I had like a bad family or anything like that. It was more so like just the way my mom raised us. It's like get out there, go have your own experiences,
right,
which is why like my best friend on the planet, my brother, is from a different country, right, with
mm,
different culture, and
gotcha.
we're still keeping up with each other thousands of miles away.
Sounds like a
Um,
great guy.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's a phenomenal guy. Phenomenal guy. Yeah, you get the listeners might know him as Nico, but it
Sounds
it
like you got a
chased
big deal.
But it kind of it pushed me out into the world to
Yeah.
where I could go experience not only my family but a bunch of different families, and
Mm.
I pull a lot of those experiences in to the family that I'm building now. So like that family aspect that I learned from you and your family is what I want to bring to her. But then also not have that pressure of like my family where it's like, nah, she needs to get out and go do stuff with her friends, so on and so forth. But
Yeah,
um,
like I think there's a healthy balance to all that.
yeah,
I think I find myself lucky in that, I grew up, um, like I said, like with, surrounded by family, and family was always important. And it happens with especially like South American cultures, like, we're very like family oriented, and it
yeah,
happens here in Spain and in Italy and Greece and all that. It's a very like common thing where like family is very important, and not just like, not as an obligation, like, oh, you got to do this, but also, as a support group for any, anything that could be going on in your life or whatever. And the fact that you grew up with, I don't know, like, let's say your cousins or whatever, being able to reach out and consider them like a brother or sister or whatever,
yeah,
that's super important. Like, even if you have your own friend, because obviously I mean, growing up in the States as well, like I, hung out with different people, met different people from like all over, and and you make friends and all that. So like obviously I wasn't just hanging out with my family.
yeah,
um but it was nice to know that, if I had anything going on, I had that trust and that bond with my family, be it, aunts and uncles or cousins or whatever. And that was really nice. And to this day, I still have that. And I never feel like, oh man, I don't want to, like I never feel an obligation to like talk to my cousins or talk to my aunts or uncles or whatever. It's always like, reaching out, see what they're up to, especially because a
yeah,
lot of them are in the States now. And so I kind of keep up with what's going on over there through them, as well as you. But um, so it's super nice to have, that as you're growing up.
yeah.
Um,
And then
and
ultimately share
yeah,
a fucking meal together.
yeah,
But
and not have each other at each other's throats.
yeah, and see, my thing to you is, um, how like I guess you and your family, y'all in Spain, y'all probably get together pretty often too, huh?
Well, that's the thing. See, in my case, like I said just now, like most of my family is in the States, like in terms of like cousins and all that. I do have two cousins that are living here that came from Uruguay, and I have my dad here. So,
Mhm,
but the cousins that live here, when they used to live, because we see, I used to live with my dad. We were all in the same
mhm,
house, and my cousin was living there as well. So obviously, when she was living there, we always like hung out and stuff. But then she moved out, and she moved kind of further away from where we live now. So
yeah,
I haven't, I don't stay as in touch with them as maybe as I should, quote unquote. But and it's not like a justification or not in my defense kind of thing, but I didn't grow up with her.
yeah,
Um because this is a cousin that like was, in your way throughout like all her childhood and basically until she was like 20 or 21. So,
right,
and I hadn't like I met her like I met her when I was a child, like a toddler, because, she was my cousin. But I didn't like really meet her until I was like 20 something,
yeah, yeah,
when I was here in Spain. So even though we do have that bond, that connection, it's not the same as like, for example, the cousins are in the States, because I like actually grew up with them. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Kind of.
right,
So she is blood and everything. Like it's not like she's my second cousin or anything, um but it's not, we're close, but we're not like always talking or whatever. So, and now she lives further away, so it's even, harder to like see each other. um so yeah, but with my dad, yeah, we talk to each other like on a almost daily basis, like, what's up, what you up to, what are you doing today, you're working today, all that stuff. So, and I'm glad I still have that, with my dad, be able to like talk about whatever. And he's with a lady, and she has three kid. Well, yeah, three kids, which are not kids; they are grown adults. But um, I just wanted to say, like, I guess three children, but they're not
Yeah,
children. They're uh,
right.
like one's 30 something, one's got a kid.
These motherfuckers are grown, okay?
Yeah, so it's not like kids, but so
Yeah.
sometimes everyone's there. I guess you could say they're my brothers, or step brother
Yeah.
and two stepsisters.
Oh, they're
So
the worst.
yeah, they're okay.
Step siblings are fucking awful.
I mean, they're okay. They're fine. We never like fought or anything, but I don't mess with them much. Just because
That's
yeah, I don't know. They have
that's the
way different
Thanksgiving
personalities.
fight right there.
Yeah, like we get together maybe like okay, so that's what I was getting to that. Like with them, because they live here where I live, uh we get together maybe like every couple months, and we do something, or there's a birthday or whatever. And then during like Christmas we see each other, and then New Year's Eve usually. So, and that's fine. Like I don't really, like I said, I don't fuck with them like physically either, because I don't want none of that. Help, step bro, I'm stuck. I don't want none of that going on there. So but I still yeah, but
That almost went way over my head.
but then we got like my girlfriend's side, she's very close to her grandparents, and so we go see them every like 2 or 3 Sundays. We go see them and we have lunch with them, and that's always nice too. So
Is it okay? So you like that? I fucking hate that, dude.
oh dude, I love that, man.
Man.
But in my case, I think it's because like I grew up okay, so I grew up in Uruguay. Well, I was born in Uruguay, and I lived there until I was like 7. And so I've only had grandparents like physically near me until I was 7. After that, I didn't have my grandparents around.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of like they kind of like I want to say like adopted me, but it feels like they consider me another grandson.
Yeah.
And so having that feeling of having grandparents nearby, I mean, I still have my grandparents from my mom's side. They're alive, but they're in Uruguay. So, but having like grandparents, a set of grandparents here close, and they treat you like typical grandparents treat grandkids. I don't know, it's kind of nice. I like that. And so when we go over to her grandparents, I love that, man. I mean, her grandma's a great cook, so I love all her food.
Yeah.
Especially around this time. Yeah, I always look forward to going over to their house because they're super nice, and food's
They're
great.
cooking. They're feeding you.
Yeah,
they're trying to get you fat, bro. You're the next Thanksgiving turkey.
Oh damn! I didn't think about that. Plus, I'm an outsider. I'm not one of them. So probably
no blood in there.
Get out or whatever.
Oh God, nah. When we got to go over to my wife's, like my in-laws, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I have to have like 2 beers or something just to like take the edge off, because it's not like anxiety. It's just like I'm such a different person at home, and they want me to be comfortable over there, but they don't understand like what they're asking. Like I cannot show them that I'm comfortable. I need them to perceive me as like, no, I'm the man that your daughter married, that started a family with. You guys can only see me as like a professional. Like I'm getting shit taken care of. I'm tired because I'm fucking working all day type of thing. And I can't let them see me relax, because I feel like that will give them like doubt. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Like that. I know it's like, and I know it's like the craziest thing I do, because I told my wife this. I'm like, I can't be myself there, because like right now we're driving like a POS Nissan Rogue, right? I do take very good care of this car. I maintain it very well. but her family, they were very well off. They had a lot of money. So when they see somebody like me marrying their daughter, and it's like, when are you guys gonna get a new car? When are you guys gonna do this? When are you guys gonna do that? And it's like, do you not understand like inflation at all? Do you guys not understand that like things are just not
Mm.
okay right now? And
That's a
I
lot of
have to
pressure.
just it's so much pressure, dude. And my wife would be like, "They don't care. They don't care."
Mm.
And then I find out later that, my wife would be like, "Yeah, we were talking about that the other day." I'm like, "You guys talk about me?"
Mm. Mm.
Like, no. So when I go there, I slam back, 2 beers and I just kinda chill,
So you
you
want to
know?
show them you're an alcoholic?
No, I
Okay.
I think what they're seeing is far worse than what it would actually be if they just saw me for me, because here's the thing, when I go there, I don't sit down. I
Mm.
stand up
Mm.
the whole time.
Mm.
I've been over the like, there was one time where
Because
I
your
was not
poor ass can't sit on those rich chairs.
and maybe that's what it is. It's like, I have not earned this
Have
right.
you
I
ever
need to
tried and they'd
stand.
be like, no, 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 no. You
Dude, I
sit.
think I think if they did that, like, I would just stand up and be like, "I'm sorry."
Right, sorry. I will do that.
Like, it's so but and the thing is they aren't like that. Like,
Mm.
they are constantly, "Sit down, do this,
Yeah, yeah,
eat,
yeah, yeah,
blah, blah,
yeah.
blah." And I'm like, "Nah, I'm cool. Imma stand," and
Mm.
I'm just gonna do this. There's one time I sat down at their house, and it was because I was too drunk to stand, and I had to go to sleep.
Oh.
And, it's just one of those things. So, like, they don't I can't let certain people see me relax,
Hmm.
and I have to just kinda
I mean, I understand. I understand where
yeah.
you're coming from. But at the same time, you gotta at some point in your life, you kind of have to be like, you know what, like even if because you don't really know if they're like judging you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know
Yeah.
to what point they're gonna be like judging you. Even though you said like that they talk about whatever, but it doesn't mean that they're actually like judging anything that you're doing.
No,
So
it's just like an innocent conversation. Like, I would
yeah.
be talking to Sam about, "Hey, Nico's doing this over
Mm.
here, he's doing that, he's got a girl," and kinda like when I give my mom updates about you.
Right, right.
And I'm sure that's what's happening there. But because of that added pressure that their daughter married somebody less
Mm.
fortunate, um, it's just one of those, it's like a external pressure that I feel on myself. Nobody
Yeah.
has put it there except for
Mhm.
me,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
I mean, at
And
least
and
you realize that. I mean, at
oh
least
yeah.
it's
Oh
something in your own
yeah.
mind,
And I
really.
tell them that. I tell them, I'm like, listen, because it makes going to events, holidays,
Mm.
it makes it very hard. And
No,
I
it's
tell him, I'm like,
stressful,
"Look,"
man.
yeah, because 'cause I'm like, "Look, I'm not, I like you guys. I want you to have an outstanding opinion of me. However, I may not be there for all the holidays, but I will be there for all of the important shit that happens, I
Mm.
promise." So, like, funerals, I'm there. Like, her dad just lost his sister,
Mm.
to cancer, fuck
Mm.
cancer.
Yeah.
Um And I was there for that. I made sure it's like, "Hey, whatever you need, let me know. You whatever you need, just hit me up." And they know that. So they don't give me a lot of hard time about missing holidays and stuff. It's more of a personal thing than it
Mm.
is on them. I just need them to have me in their mind as somebody who works, takes care of his family, and sleeps. That's it.
Hmm.
I know. It's fucked.
That's tough, man. I
Mhm.
mean, it's tough. I mean, my situation is completely different. Uh, I think I might have mentioned that I live with my mother-in-law. Um, so like I rent out one of the rooms in her apartment. So um, I safe to say I've got a pretty good relationship with her. Uh, they're divorced. They've been divorced for like more than a decade, I think. So I
Just
go see like her or my girlfriend's dad every once in a while and everything, and we're cool as well. But I never felt like that pressure of having to show. what I'm providing or what I'm doing
Yeah.
to anyone. And I
And like
don't
I said,
know if
it's internal.
I think, but I do have to say, I think it's a very American thing.
Yeah.
Because I've also, like, when I first came here, I had that same mindset, like when I had my previous girlfriends here, like when I first started, like, got here and everything, and I also had that thing where I had to like show for myself, like, this is what I'm capable of doing, or this is what I'm gonna provide, or this is what I'm gonna do, whatever. And then I soon realized that they didn't give a fuck, dude. Like, honestly, they didn't care like what I did for work or whatever, or like, or that at that time I was, well, I was I guess now I'm a citizen here, so I'm not technically an immigrant. But when I first came here, I was an immigrant, and they're like, I mean, that's cool, and so it was, I don't know, like, it was all in my head because of that. I think that American, mindset where you have to show, especially like when it came to like parents and wives and all that, when you have to show them what you're what you're capable of and what you can do for them or whatever. That was like,
Yeah.
or else you wouldn't be accepted, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
And
you'd be
that and that's
rejected.
and that's how I feel. And honestly, Thanksgiving makes it much harder
Mm,
because now I'm not only with my wife, right? I'm with her parents, and then I'm with all of their extended relatives, right? So like she has aunts and uncles that have only seen me like twice, once at the wedding and once at a random, wedding or
yeah,
certain
yeah, yeah,
event that they're doing, right? And they're like, "Hey, so what are you doing now?" And I'm like, "Oh shit."
yeah.
Like I'm the best retail store manager you've
Mm.
ever met, and it's like what the I like it
And
gets to
what
the
are
point.
they doing? Like, is it really to the point where like the whole family is like well off and doing shit, or?
Well, I think it's because of me and my ego and how self-centered I am, like where I think people are judging me. If I
Mm,
learn to just kind of let that shit go,
mm,
because the extended family, they're worse off than we are, right?
okay.
Like they are not doing anything special, but I still harbor that because I need them to have a certain impression of me. Not that I'm, tight. And this is what I mean by self-centered. I have no idea what they do. I don't
Right.
ask. I'm so busy worrying about, oh shit, how do I answer all these questions
How
that
am
I
I
don't
gonna
even ask any
feel?
of my own.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes Thanksgiving like a nightmare for me.
But
But
you're making it a nightmare for yourself.
exactly. Exactly. And I've tried to like fix it. The only thing I know to do is have a couple beers, take
Mm,
the edge off,
right.
and it works. It works. I'll go there and we'll talk like her dad is like my wife's dad is a businessman
Mhm.
through and through. Um I talk to him about everything. Like we bounce ideas off of each other.
Okay.
What do you think about this? What do you think about that? So like once I get into that element, that's good. But other than business, we don't have anything in common
Mm,
because, well, I mean, he's a 50-year-old dude. Like, I don't have anything in common with people who are 50,
right.
it's business.
Yeah, no, I get you, because that does actually, I have a similar relationship with my father-in-law as well. Like, my girlfriend's dad, like, we talk, but it's never been like bros. And again, he
Yeah.
is 50 something, and and I'm 30. So, but it's true that like you might have cases where they do the same sport, or they have a similar hobby to yours, and then you can get along. But for example, like, I don't like any sports, really. Like, I don't watch any sports. I don't like sports in general. I like to do physical activity, but I don't like any like sports, like team sports or anything. And he loves soccer, like most Spaniards do. And so, like, he might be watching a game, right? Super important game, and he's like, hype and everything. I'm just sitting there like,
Go team.
yeah, I can't even join in
Fucking
because like it would be
loser,
so
bro.
fake. It would be like, and so it's like
What
I
just
can't.
happened?
Yeah, like, when the commercials coming on, I don't. What is it? So like
Oh my
I
God.
can't
That is
connect to
so
him
great.
in that level. And then the only thing that, like, actually just recently we like got and we've been together. I mean, I've been with my girlfriend for like 8 years. And we've had a few things where, like, for example, he used to do a lot of marathon running.
Hmm.
And so, and I actually signed up to a marathon in March. Yeah, March.
Wow.
And so like I told him about it. He's like, "Oh, what training plan are you following?" You know, like all that stuff. And I was like, "All right, look, we got something in common and all that stuff." But like I said, like our relationship has always been nice. Like it's been cool, like cordial and everything. Nothing, you know, no like I don't know. It was just it's never been like bad, but it's never been like great. You know, like it's never been like we get along, we do stuff. You know, like we never had like a plan to go out camping or something. I don't know. Like it's not to that level. And I don't know
See,
if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if that's supposed to be, you know, because
well,
usually
I
like
think
in movies
it's
you see the same shit, like where like you know the father-in-law is always like stern and you know like you know what are your intentions with my daughter, and even if
yeah.
they've been married for 20 years they still ask that. um and so it's like I guess that's the norm to have like a regular like a normal relationship, nothing deep, nothing, you know.
Well, see, that's the thing with her dad is he is the opposite of the movies, right? Like he just wants to make sure that I have a good head on my shoulders, right? And that was like when Sam and I first met. So, you know, he would ask questions and do all this other stuff.
Hmm.
But you know, after we got married, now we have a daughter. He can see like I work my ass off.
Right.
He's kind of let loose. And I remember one day I was out there helping him remove like a whole bunch of these bamboo shoots from his backyard. For those that don't know, and I don't know if you know, bamboo is actually a weed, and if you let that shit grow,
Yes.
it will not stop.
Yes.
But so I removed a whole bunch of bamboo from his backyard, and he's like, you know what, man? He's like, we just need to go out and have a beer together.
Mm.
And for me, because I'm antisocial as fuck,
Yep.
you know, to him, I told him, I was like, yeah, man, anytime. Like, I'm, you know, just let me know. We'll go do something. He told me, he's like, you know, I see how you treat Sam's mom. He's like, you don't have to treat me like that, man. He's like, you just come over here, have a beer, we'll eat some crawfish, blah, 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 blah. Right. He just
Mm.
wants to be, like, you know, like you said, bros. And I'm like, I don't,
Hmm.
I don't do that, you know, and
I don't
I
eat
don't know how to,
crawfish.
no,
Oh,
see, I
okay.
fuck up crawfish, but
You don't.
I don't just like when people are like, yo, let's hang out. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
you know, like we can go to my house and, you know, do some shit, but I'm not one of the, like, I did a lot of hanging out in my early 20s. I do not want to do that shit anymore.
Yeah.
So
I understand
I'm,
that, and like I said, like I kind of see that in my case as well, where it's like, yeah, he in my father-in-law also, like, you know, I mean, we've had like beers and all that. Like it wasn't like we've had one-on-ones, and it's never been awkward or anything. Like I said, we get along pretty well. It's just there's nothing deeper than just like a normal conversation and talking about, you know, random stuff that's going on, and that's it. And that's where it stays. And I'm perfectly fine with that. Like I don't really care. Whereas with my girlfriend's mom, she's got stuff going on in her mind, like she's, you know, depression and anxiety and all that stuff. So
mhm.
I'm sometimes a little bit of a therapist for her, because
Yeah,
like
she gets stuck in the washer quite a bit because that's
uh
what this sounds
please
like
do
from
not,
start to
please.
finish.
Oh god. Oh no.
That-
Is there like a way to like scrub your mind? No god. Oh god, no.
of porn? No, dude, I'm a fucking 30-year-old American male. We grew up at the peak of
Oh
internet, dude.
fuck. No, no, please stop. um no, there's no no, there's no getting stuck anywhere. No, definitely not. But there are moments where like she's, you know, in a very bad place, not physically
Yeah.
but mentally. And so she, you know, and I'm like kind of there, and so we like me and her have gotten to like deeper conversations. She's got a lot of problems, like I said,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of resentment between like my girlfriend and her, and all that stuff. And
Oh, really?
there's stuff, yeah, there's stuff going on there.
Yeah.
So there's like a bunch of like history there, and they get along just fine, but you got to kind of like tread lightly and like kind of on your toes all the time, because anything you say could trigger her, and she just go crazy. And so it's been tough, especially the past like 2 or 3 years. It's been really hard, because she has like episodes of just going crazy and screaming at everyone and getting pissed and throwing shit, breaking shit, taking pills, all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So,
It's the
and
hot
I've like
Spaniard
been here.
blood, bro.
What's that?
It's the hot Spaniard blood. It's okay.
I guess I think it's just depression, but
Fuck. Well, the important thing is that you're a support. You know what I mean? And
that's what I'm getting to.
and
Like all this, and so like
yeah.
my relationship with my mother-in-law is way different than the one I have with my father-in-law.
Yeah.
Because after their divorce, he's fine. He's got his own, he's got his girlfriend now and all that stuff, and he's doing just fine emotionally and
Yeah.
mentally and all that stuff. Whereas my mother-in-law is just a complete wreck, and has been for like 10 years. So
Yeah.
and we've always been here, and it's got its good things, like she takes care of me, like again, like I'm just like another son, but in
Stepson?
weird,
No.
not in
Yep,
a weird way. Stop.
that's exactly what it sounds like. It's
No,
so
she
bad.
just buys food for me and stuff,
That's a sugar mama, dude.
Oh god damn it.
Do you guys have sugar mamas out in Spain?
Yeah, of course. There's like apps for that. In
Is it
fact,
really?
quick little side note here.
Yeah.
So my sister-in-law, so my girlfriend's sister, she's a student in college. She's I think she's in her last year, so she's like 21 or something, right? And for the past couple of years, she's been babysitting this girl whose dad is divorced and all that, and he's very well off. I think he's an air control person. I don't know what they're called. Anyway, and he makes a lot of money. And he doesn't.
How old is he?
What's that?
How old is he?
Like 40.
Dude, that's still young enough to like fuck. I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. No, he's fucking. That's what I'm getting to. He's fucking a lot. That's what I'm getting to. Yeah. And the thing is, like, throughout these couple of years, even my girlfriend's like, because this is what he does, right? He has a lot of money. So what he does is he hires only girls, to do various things at his house. For example, clean the fish tank. He's got a girl for that. Clean the house.
Nice.
He's got a girl for that. Take care of his daughter when she's over at his place, when it's his time or whatever. I think it's like every 2 weeks or whatever. So he's got a girl for that. Drive him to whatever. He's got a girl for that. And so he's got girls for basically all the shit that he doesn't want to do, because he's, one, too lazy, and two, he just likes having girls around him, right?
Yep.
And so my sister-in-law, she takes care of the girl of his daughter, right? And Mary like cooks dinner and all that stuff for them, whatever. And now my girlfriend has been giving a mission, because he gives out missions for girls, because he's weird like that. And he calls them missions. And he's like, all right, well, I got a date that you need to bring over to my house at around 8. So he basically sends my girlfriend to like almost across, not the country, but at least like consider it like a county, across the county, right? To go pick up a girl, bring her to his house, and then the next day take her back. And he's done, and my girlfriend's done. Obviously, he pays my girlfriend for this, and so she's done it a few times or whatever. But these girls are like 20, 21, and they're all just sugar babies. And apparently there's some sort of like app or whatever similar to Tinder where sugar daddies and sugar mommies kind of like, they're on there. And then the sugar babies, which I'm learning all these like words. I didn't even know all these words, all these terms existed before.
Shit. I'll be a sugar baby.
Oh damn, me too. That's why I was
Not
like,
not for like a 50, because like I said, that's young enough to fuck.
mhm.
I'm talking like 85,
Right.
95.
Well, apparently that's the thing. Like there's sugar babies out here promoting them and then putting like like they say like, all right, if you want me to go out on a date with you, it's $50, and that's it. That's like as far as it will go, a date, just like going out to dinner or whatever. If you want to have like a whole like pretend to be your girlfriend kind of thing, it's this much. If like different fares for different activities and stuff. And
That's
then
prostitution, brother.
it is, but it's like legalized, not legalized, but it's like, online.
It's ambiguous to the law.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
because they're off. I mean, obviously it's yeah, they're escorts and all that, but they have limits as well. Like I said, like there's people that just have a lot of money and just lonely as fuck, and all they want is somebody like just to have a coffee with, and that's it. And look, $50, and they pay for your coffee, dude. I told my girlfriend, like, look, if I can set the limits where like all I want is to have coffee, I don't care if it's a dude. Like, you want to have a beer? Sure, man. Let's go. You gonna pay me to have a beer? Okay.
Damn, bro. What, like, see, and that's the thing. So like, what, obviously this happens everywhere. This happens in America, Spain. I'm sure there's nothing, but in America, so like where I thought this story was going, it did not go there. I thought you were gonna say your sister-in-law was a sugar baby to this dude.
No.
And I was gonna say in America,
he's offered this, obviously.
well, I was gonna say in America, your sister-in-law would bring that guy to Thanksgiving dinner, and then that's how weird those things get, because you're sitting there, you're eating, you're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right.
Hey, who is this old man in the back of the room? Oh, that's fucking Bob. Me and Bob met on Tinder. It's like, yeah, sure you did. Jesus Christ, no. Bob, go home.
That for sure that happens. And like I said, like this guy's been with whole, like, I don't even like, because my sister-in-law is there when he brings those girls around. And so he, and like I said, like, and sometimes the weird thing is like he doesn't even want to partake in whatever event. Like, okay, like this one instance, he said, look, to my sister-in-law, you got to take this girl to an amusement park with my daughter and spend the day there with her.
Yeah.
But he stayed at home.
Dude, what kind of
and
man?
So my sister-in-law was like, I mean, okay, because obviously he paid for the tickets to, the entrance tickets to the amusement park, paid her also like for this service of like taking her and all that stuff, and she got to go on rides and just hang out at an amusement park for the day with this girl. Like, and I'm sure that's got to be super awkward. Like, you got my sister-in-law is like 20 or 21. This girl is probably around 21 to 22, and then just like this 6-year-old girl hanging out at the amusement park. That's got to be super awkward, dude. I don't know what these girls are doing, but like, how do they agree with this stuff?
Well, see, here's the thing. Like, if I'm the girl, okay, yeah, no problem. I'll take that job. I'll take that job tomorrow. However, if I'm the man, dude, I'm not paying random people to raise my kid.
Right. Well, that kid's gonna have some, oh man, some trauma, dude, for real.
Trauma. And like, and that's the thing. And then you can't even quit that job properly. Because, you do that job for a year, 2 years max, you're attached to that kid. You quit that job, you're quitting the kid. And I couldn't.
Oh no, these little flings don't even last like a month, dude. He's gonna grow like rotating, like, damn, like rotisserie chicken, man. Like they just a different girl every like 2 months. You know, like just yesterday, I went with my girlfriend to take back one of these girls to her
Hmm.
place. She was a super nice girl, super cool. Like we were like talking on the ride back and everything. And I don't think they're gonna see each other again. It was like the first date or whatever. Um, and she like stayed over yesterday, I think, or the day before that. And I don't think they're gonna see each other again. But she spent the whole, like, I think it was like Friday with him and his daughter, and I'm sure they did stuff, but
So hold on. I just so pretty much I can go to Spain,
yeah,
be an air controller,
yeah.
and live like fucking Hugh Hefner.
But I mean, here's the thing: he makes a lot of money, but he doesn't really like. He's got a normal house, like a normal little apartment, right? Who's
Mhm.
not like he didn't even pay for because it's his mom's or whatever.
What the fuck
Yeah,
is
he
going
doesn't live with his
on,
mom,
dude?
but it's like his mom's house or whatever, and like
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
those.
yeah.
Yeah. So all he spends his money on is weed because he sends he sends my sister-in-law and sometimes my girlfriend out to go buy weed because he doesn't want to leave the house.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and that's all he spends money on. It's just and hiring girls to do stuff, but that's it. That's all he spends money on.
I mean, when you make it to a certain point in life, there's really nothing else to spend your money on,
I
you
guess
know. But Jesus,
it's
the
crazy, dude. It's just nuts. Very
so what?
weird
Like,
guy.
so like, what does he do for like All Saints Day over there? I know we talked
Oh
about
no,
that
he
on
doesn't do
Halloween.
anything, dude. He doesn't do shit. He
That
he
is a
hates
sinner.
he hates his
It,
family, or they hate each other or whatever. So,
jeez.
like I said,
Could you imagine?
like if I had all that money, man, I would take my daughter out like to see the world, man.
Yeah,
Like I would
I
go
ain't
out
doing
and just
jack shit.
because he's got, like I said, he doesn't spend it. So I mean, I would just be spending it like traveling or whatever, you know. Um, but all he does is just like stay at home, play video games, smoke weed, and then just have girls over. That's it. That's all he does.
That sounds like a 22-year-old
Yes.
dream.
Yeah. Right.
That's I mean, like when I was 22, no, fuck that. When I was like 18, 16 to 18, that was my dream.
And mine. I think everybody's.
Yeah, and that man's just out there living like a fucking prepubescent high schooler.
Yeah, man. So for Thanksgiving or whatever, he's probably just he would just be ordering food, like catering or something, and then just have girls over. And dude, I don't even know if they fuck, man. I think he just like he was like helping out
I
a
don't,
girl with her OnlyFans page as well. I don't know, man. He gets into some weird shit.
dude, that is nuts.
Yeah, I've never
Like,
met the guy because he doesn't want to meet guys. I think he's a repressed homosexual, and I think that's just.
I mean, like you should just so like with guys like that,
Mhm.
like I just it's this gonna come out totally wrong, but I force myself upon them.
Okay, well, I think we can end the episode here.
I like with guys like that, dude. I'm like, oh, you don't want to meet me? Now you're gonna meet me. Now you have to meet me. You know, and that's I mean, just imagine because here's the thing: all of those girls,
Mhm.
right? Every one of them. Maybe not the ones that he employs, I suppose, but the ones that he just kind of like picks up.
Right.
Um, they are either hoping for a chance to bring this guy to an All Saints Day dinner or some type of get together to be with this guy.
I mean,
And
probably, yeah.
and what I'm getting to is all those girls have fathers,
Oh yeah.
and their father is going to have to look at this person. And I know if my daughter brought somebody home like that, I'd be like, "Oh,
Mm-mm.
you're going to die.
No,
This
yeah.
is your last
That's the thing. Like
this is your last
he
Thanksgiving."
wouldn't ever agree to that. So like all these little like flings and shit, like it would never evolve to any of that because he would not like he doesn't even want to see his own mother, let alone some 20-year-old's mother. Nah.
Dang.
Yeah. Nah. He's Gonna be forever a 20-year-old in a 50, 60, 70-year-old's body and just always want to do that. And that's it.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, man.
What a sad existence. Anyway, I mean,
that was
you guys heard it here. You heard it here first. You can move straight to Spain, be an air controller, live like Hugh Hefner in a
I looked
fucking
into
bedroom
being an air
apartment.
controller, man, but that's expensive to like get into because like the course is like 30K or 40K just to do like the course or like the main course. And
Yeah.
another couple thousand or whatever for whatever. I don't know. It's just way too much to get into. So
No. Damn, bro. Well, as always, Jesus, happy Thanksgiving to all those, to everybody
eat turkeys
who's listening.
or not,
or not,
and make sure to stay away from 4-year-old sugar daddies.
Sugar daddies. Jesus,
that
guy.
Air controlling sugar daddies.
But yeah, man. I mean, as I end every episode, I gotta ask you a burning question. That I usually just come up with on the spot. But my question today is, what is your ideal Thanksgiving plate? If I give you a plate, the unlimited amount of Thanksgiving things, what's on your plate?
Damn, I'm sure that's probably changed a bit throughout my years, but right now, I mean, I love the autumn season or fall season. So anything that all those vegetables are in season. So we got our sweet potatoes,
Okay. All right. So sweet potatoes on the plate first.
Oh, I'm having sweet potatoes for sure.
All right.
I'm gonna keep it simple though. Like I'm gonna have sweet potatoes. I'm gonna have some sort of cut of any animal. You want some owl meat? I'll have that owl meat. You want that badger?
No. This is your plate. What is on your plate?
You know what? I'm feeling that prime rib that you said that was like 300.
All right.
I want that prime rib.
That's a good choice. All right, sweet potatoes, prime rib. What else?
Shit. Damn, I don't know if I want a lot more.
That's a good one. But
I like it simple, to be honest. I don't want to overload my plate.
You got to have a vegetable, brother.
I mean, sweet potato is a vegetable.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Honestly, that's the simpler the better, I think, because you got that salty and fatty juiciness from the prime rib, but then you got that hint of sweetness from the sweet potato, and it's been oven broiled or whatever, so you got them crispy little bits on some ends and all that. Oh, and that mixes with the juices from the prime rib.
It's your own gravy for the potato.
Yeah. And then I'm having, because I love it, some pumpkin pie. Like I just love me some pumpkin pie. That's my
okay.
What's your plate looking like?
I'll give you the reason why you miss Thanksgiving in America. Okay, are you ready? So on my plate now, this is a $2 Dixie plate that you can get at any drugstore or gas station, whatever.
I'm gonna guess that after you name all the things, that plate is just gonna be just disintegrated with all the juices from all the shit you're about to put on this plate. Okay.
Yes. No. All right. So we're doing the prime rib. Okay. Because you got to. All right. Then you're doing the mashed potatoes. Then you're using the drippings from the prime rib to make a gravy for your mashed potatoes. All right. Then you're going to put a little bit of green bean casserole on there because you can't. It's not Thanksgiving without that. If you want a recipe, hit me up. Green bean casserole on the plate. Then you're going to roll with stuffing on the plate. Then you're going to roll with 2 slices of ham. Okay. Honey glazed, no exceptions. All right. Then after you have that, you're going to top the ham with a little bit of cranberry sauce. And you want the tart cranberry sauce. You don't want the overly sweet. You want the tart one because the ham is already sweet. So you want the tart to go with it. And then you're going to have 2 King's Hawaiian rolls. Okay. You can get these anywhere. You can get them from Walmart or whatever fucking place you have. You're going to pile all that up. You want the bread to make contact with the plate so that it sops up all the juices. Okay. And then you're gonna top, or you're like in the smallest little crevice you can find. You're gonna spoon in some macaroni and cheese, and then you're gonna put some greens on top. And if you don't know what greens are, they're collard greens,
Mhm.
not colored greens, collard
Collard. Yep.
greens.
Yep.
And collard greens that are made with fat back in it. And that is my Thanksgiving plate if I could make it today.
And
No
then you
fucking
will be
turkey.
rushed to the hospital for the heart attack that you will have after that.
It might happen, but you know, that's the plate. And then I do want to end this episode on what we're thankful for. I'll go first
Yo.
so we can end on your lovely voice.
Mm.
I am thankful for my wife, my daughter, my job, my brother, and God. What are you
That's
thankful
beautiful.
for?
Man, I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm thankful for family, be it blood or be it not. I'm thankful for family.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, all right, man. Thanks for coming on over. Thanks for listening. And y'all have a great day. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Peace.
Get your turkey.